Hello and welcome back to Human Resourceful, a channel that's dedicated to helping you navigate the complexities of the workplace. Now today's episode is all about the secret to a high-performing team according to Google. Now to get us started, I'm going to talk about a study conducted by Google's People Analytics team a few years ago. And they went out to answer the question, what makes a team effective at Google? Now, they studied 180 teams to try to get to the bottom of the most critical factors for team effectiveness. Now, they ran statistical models with multiple inputs, and what they found was that the most important thing was how teams worked together, not who made up those teams. And the number one factor that they identified that influenced team performance more than anything else was psychological safety. Now, psychological safety refers to the amount of interpersonal risk that there is felt within the team. That is, whether people feel safe to make mistakes, to take risks, to challenge one another, to engage in healthy debate, and just generally their feeling of safety in being themselves within that team. Now, let's run through the other key findings from this study. So in terms of the factors that were identified that influence team performance more than anything else, in number one, as I said, we had psychological safety. In number two, we had dependability, which is being able to depend on others for quality work in a timely manner. That is, doing what you say you will. Number three was structure and clarity, which is all about understanding job and performance expectations and setting clear short-term and long-term goals. In number four was meaning, a sense of purpose that's bigger than just you. And in number five was impact, which is the view that your work makes a difference. Now, what are the things that they found that did not matter? The variables that were not significantly correlated with team effectiveness. So things like co-location of team members sitting together in the same office, consensus-driven decision-making, extroversion of team members, individual performance of team members, workload size, seniority, team size, and tenure. All of these variables were not significantly correlated with team effectiveness. Now, just a quick note to say that it is worth noting that not every organisation is like Google. And these factors, may show up differently within your organisation. But I do think that this is a really compelling study to bust some myths and focus on what really matters, trust and connection within teams. So now, what does this mean for you? So I'm going to focus on a couple of things that you can do differently, specifically around psychological safety, which is identified as the number one factor for team performance. So here are three things that you can do. Number one is create a culture of team safety around coming forward with mistakes and challenges that you're facing. Now, this can be achieved through a few simple shifts by you as the leader. Amy Edmondson gives a great to be achieved through a few simple mindset shifts where you set the scene as a leader. In this short video, check it out, Amy Edmondson describes this as saying things like, I acknowledge that there were things that I did as a leader that made it difficult for you to come to me. Instead of saying things like, why didn't you come to me or why didn't you tell me? Acknowledge what you could do to create an environment to make that person feel safe in the future. Number two is adding elements to your team meeting that promote psychological safety and make this a deliberate practice for you. For example, as a leader, you could make sure that you're not the only person talking or you're not the only person making decisions. Ask for different perspectives and call upon those in the meeting who haven't shared their opinion yet. And number three is praise and recognize positive behaviors that promote psychological safety, such as healthy debate and challenging one another, going against the status quo, especially when that's challenging, asking curious questions, coming forward with issues and providing different perspectives to one another. And think of ways that you can role model this yourself as well. That's all for today. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more.